Hello and welcome to Casting Roles. We're a bunch of theater nerds and good friends playing a little D&D. We're so happy that you've joined us. Take a moment to subscribe to the show. It takes just a click and earns our unending thanks. Drop us a like and leave us a comment for Campaign 2. Our videos are uploaded here on YouTube.
True. Our thanks will never end.
That's true. It never ends. Our videos are uploaded here on YouTube every Friday, and we have tons of great content to explore. We are down a Jace for this evening as they are recovering from a wonderful vacation, but they'll be back next week. And without further ado, let's go ahead and start the show. Last time, our crew adventurers traveled into the maze of Tithalamus and tackled the second rune in the region of Hastened Time. As time moved faster and faster, you raced against time to unlock the door to the rune, and thanks to Andalus's ageless body and recent creation of a broom of flying, you were able to avoid most of the dangers of the zone, except for Lucky and Andalus himself. Lucky found themselves in a zone after falling into the river, in which they aged by nearly a decade, and Andalus faced the worst zones, aging almost 100 years in a matter of moments. Freeing Tithalamus' rune, the Sphinx approached and reversed the effects on Lucky after Andalus said that she should, but then she let Andalus know the effects of time have had a dramatic impact and may only have a few hours left to live. With the final rune and Indira's confusion ahead, what would you all like to do?
I'm thinking we're going to run into time slowing because we've done everything else. So we need to talk like this.
It'll be riveting for our viewer.
Why was this episode 6 hours long?
I also like Andalus's ageless body.
He's
I know,
his
it's like-
body. He's always in fashion.
You can't age. By the way, you have an hour to live.
I mean, technically can't age.
Needs upkeep. He's a robot.
Yeah. It's like a really well-made German car.
Yes. Or like a military thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna know all about that.
Well, you really don't want to know how the military maintains shit.
No, it's not about
It doesn't.
Well, they also don't have magic. So
It's true.
okay.
All right, let's
So
proceed.
So, and just to clarify, everyone, the Sphinx said that to me in my head. All of you don't know that.
Right.
By the way,
I'm not mixing player knowledge with character.
I know, I'm just saying.
No metagaming?
What? No.
We don't do that here.
We don't metagame.
The Black Panther beam. We don't do that here.
Yep, he's just quiet and looks awkward. It is like, okay, we should try to work our way through this quickly.
All right. So the final runic structure is to the north, towards that tall tower that has the rune or the gem floating on the top that you think is probably one of the like bombardment towers that shot down your ship at the beginning.
The laser.
There is a path that leads from this rune into that section of the maze. So Tithalamus created an exit if you'd like to leave, or you can take the path that heads further in to the north.
Further in.
Further.
Yeah.
As we move forward, Robert's gonna give Tithalamus a little just a little.
Tithalamus, who is like in the process of getting ready to leave, like transforms back into the human form that she occasionally takes, and she just like raises an eyebrow in Ravik's direction, and then turns and steps into the darkness and vanishes.
What a woman.
That was
Not a woman.
that was a sphinx.
Oh, you heard that?
Would passive perception of 15 have noticed this?
I think everybody probably. I don't think Ravik was being subtle.
Ravik said it like Nigel Thornberry.
Oh,
What a woman.
Yeah. I didn't know you two were friends.
Just getting to know each other is all. Shall we move?
I feel like
forward?
it's knowing a sphinx has certain benefits.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm not going to ask.
All right. So
Right then, off we go.
So you all head north, and this area of the maze has been relatively tamed. And so you kind of head further north and, make your way carefully through the kind of switchback meditative quality of the maze for a little while. And the hedge itself here is well maintained, but you eventually arrive at another one of those like arched entrances that are passing into another zone of the maze. And beyond it, you can see that everything is a little bit wilder and a little bit less kempt than this section of the maze. As you walk through the arch, I need everyone to roll a d4 for me, please.
Oh no, scary.
Oh my god. Here come the shenanigans.
Shit off my dice.
Shenanigans.
Yep.
We shenaned once, we shenan again.
Yeah, let's start with Kieran. What did you roll?
Oh, that's an at 20. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I need to go get those.
A d4.
I'm sorry.
Divide by 5.
How many times did you roll that D4?
I got a natural 20 on a d4. You rolled 5 4s in a row.
That would be a 1.
A 1. Okay.
I still need to get my glasses.
Perfect. You have a moment to do that. Ronnie, what did you get?
A 4
A
on a D4.
4. Okay.
I got 3.
Hold 1 sec.
What lucky get?
I'll do it in roughly a second. A 3, you said, Atwood?
Yeah.
Okay. And Andalus?
It's good or bad. I got a 4.
A 4. Okay. So
We're in the same boat.
for
Look,
purposes of this, we're going to divide that by 2 just because there's so many options.
Do you want me to roll lucky for you?
No, I got it right here. Okay.
Scared.
Boop,
I
and
know.
perfect. Okay, cool. All right. All right. So as you step through, we'll start with. Actually, we won't start with Rob because Rob pulled a slightly more complicated one. So I'm sending you something, Rob.
Oh no!
Let me know if you
Rob.
can't. Let me know if you can't open this, Rob. All right.
Where did you send
I
it?
sent it. I sent it on Facebook because it's hard to open Discord with the windows open.
Okay.
All right.
That works for me. I will go open it now.
So we'll start with Ace. So Indolus, as you step through the portal, the first thing, like, you kind of all pass through the portal at the same time, and for a moment you feel like in the previous section, you felt like time clicking faster. You could feel your heart beating faster. In the section before that, there was all this evidence of things reversing and moving in a backwards fashion. Here, there's like, for a moment, it's like your consciousness expands to the point where you can feel the time stream itself. And you feel like for a second, if you look to the left or the right, you can see all the stages of Andalus's life moving in either direction. But
Whoa.
at the same time, you see Ravik's and Kieran's and Bonnie's and Lucky's, and they're all kind of stretching off in the horizontal distance in either way from you. But as you step Andalus, there's suddenly like this reverberation, and you hear a voice in the air as Indira's confusion says, "Oh no, the things are out of order. The time and the space is here. We have to face the changes of what is going on." And like you feel like a spell like wash through the whole area. And as confusion hits and the time stream becomes confused, Andalus, you suddenly like open your eyes, and it is a bright sunny day. You're standing on a wide open plain. There's a small hut behind you with a thatched roof. There's some chickens running around off to the side. And you hear like maybe the sound of children or something over maybe a hill off in the distance. And there's just grain blowing in the wind. And you can see for miles here, because this is kind of a wide open area of like beautiful green grass. What would you like to do?
I look around.
Okay.
And and I'm like, everybody.
Okay. You look around, you don't hear, nobody responds. But as you're looking around, you kind of turn and you're looking at the house behind you. It is a nondescript, like a hut. Looks like it was hand built by the hands of somebody very, crafty in nature. And the most distinct feature about this hut is that it has a circular door that goes inside of it.
I go over the door and open it.
Make a perception check for me, please.
Uh-oh.
Scary.
I see what you're doing here.
I have a hunch.
21.
21. As you go to open the door, the first thing you notice is that you've seen this door before. It is Bonnie's shield.
Oh.
And when you reach out to grab the door, you notice that your hand looks slightly different than usual. It is a furry hand, very much the fur color of Bonnie. And as you open the door, another Harangon is exiting the building, and they sign to you. Unfortunately, Andalus doesn't speak sign.
Nope.
And so you don't know what they're saying, but you do recognize this as Herald. But with a 21 on your perception check, it is not the Herald that you know as part of the expedition. This is a Herald that's probably 20 years younger, not as much gray around the muzzle.
Oh no, I'm married now. I think we're married. I don't know. It's Mother's Day. I'm looking around like, oh God. I didn't really appreciate that until right now.
And he kind of signs again, like quizzically in your direction.
I'm sorry, do you have paper?
He kind of gives you a weird smirk, and he grabs a pad of paper and a quill and slides it over to you with an ink pot.
I write down, when is this?
He kind of looks at it. And he kind of makes a motion like, do you want me to respond on paper?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He's very confused. And he writes down, it's the 4th day after the summer solstice.
What? I put what year?
He writes down a year that's about 25 years previous.
Oh no. I don't know if I can live like this. I like run outside.
Okay. You run outside. He's like very quizzically looking in your direction.
Yeah.
And as you turn around the corner, you see 3 small children kind of running across the hill and chasing one another. One is like an Aarakocra youth. There's another small Herringon and then like a half elven child. And they're chasing. And like the 2 that don't have wings are like throwing things in the direction of the one that has wings, and it's like taking off a little bit and not able to keep complete flight, and it's like flying, and he's like, no, stop, no, that's not nice, stop throwing things in my direction.
I don't know how to discipline children. I like awkwardly run over there. Stop.
All 3 kind of stop. Mom, what's wrong?
Whoa. That's so interesting. Don't throw things at don't throw things at your siblings.
Well, we were just playing a game. Why, like, and the Herringon, like, we were just playing a game. Like, why does it matter if we're throwing things at each other?
I love they all have the same accent.
They seem to be enjoying that game there. So just be kind to each other.
Oh, okay. We'll stop throwing things. Well, what are you making for dinner tonight?
Oh no. You eat food. You all eat food. I like. Yeah.
Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Oh. This is my worst nightmare. All right.
No.
I've only got an 8.
An 8. You feel like that weird, like that weird chronal displacement that you felt when you passed through the gate. You suddenly feel like a reverberation through that, like hit you, and you just like your vision goes red for just a second, and then when it clears, there is like an odd, like floating in your vision, like a strand. There's 3 strands that are here, and like one of them like tears and falls and disintegrates into nothing. As all 3 of these children are looking at you like something's really wrong.
Well, that didn't seem peachy keen. I gotta like go back to the house really quickly.
Okay, they kind of watch you go, like really confused. And when you come into the house, like Harold is like cleaning, and he looks in your direction and he signs and then catches himself and then goes and writes it down. Is like, is everything okay?
Oh, yep. I just love you so much. I'm going to our room to do Bonnie things.
Okay. And he says, he writes a note. He says, I'm you got to cook tonight. I've got the meeting I have a meeting with the militia. There's been spotters of raiders nearby.
What?
So I'll be a little late.
Don't worry. I'll make carrot something. And I go into Bonnie's room.
He writes on a note like, "Oh, carrots, so cliche."
Yeah. Don't you know it's cliche because it's so good.
And he kind of kisses you on the cheek, and then you see him like put on. He puts on a pack and like puts a bow, an arrow over his shoulder, and he leaves. And
I'm so married.
As you begin the process of cooking, which Bonnie's not necessarily...
Is there anything I can snoop through that's Bonnie's, by the way?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Is there like a diary or like something interesting in her closet? I would totally take this time to snoop.
No, there's absolutely interesting shit in her closet.
Yeah.
What's in your closet?
So you're gonna do this instead of cooking dinner?
I just want to glance. I want to at a glance, take a look around, and then I'll do what I'm supposed to do.
Okay, so you go upstairs, or not? I guess it's kind of like a single floor, and you you go to what you hope is the room that like you see one room that like then goes down into like a burrow underneath the house where there's literally like there's like 10 bunk beds here.
Of course.
But there's not 30, but there's several bunk beds here. And you then go into another room and there's a well put together but very modest like bedroom with like armoires and things like that with spaces and chests and things that you can look through.
Only so much time. Have to snoop. I go in your closet. What's in your closet?
Okay, make an investigation check.
I got a 12.
So with a 12, I don't think you would find anything greatly incriminating. But probably what you would find is like underneath some clothes, just looks like very simple handmade clothing. You do find a wrapped up object, like something wrapped in cloth.
I unwrap it.
It is a sword.
Whoa. Cool.
Describe what the sword looks like for me. Bonnie, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
your sword.
Yeah, it is. It's very well made, but it is very, very simple. I guess do you know the it's called an wolf bear if you Google it, but if it's basically a short sword, but very professionally made. If you've seen Two Towers, like the sword that Aragorn gives like the young kid, and he says like, this is a good sword. It's like sword roughly that size. And it's got it's definitely not a rabbit on the hilt. It's a hare. It's like a very proud looking like rabbit on the hilt of it that looks like mean. And it's like you're holding it and you've opened it and you're like, I may be the first person to open and look at this in a while.
Yeah.
Like this hasn't been out of the scabbard in years.
And with the fact that Bonnie never looks at this sword, I need you to make another Constitution saving throw.
Oh no, I'm messing up Bonnie's timeline.
You're messing with canon.
Oh, and then I do get one advantage from the T, and I forgot last time.
Yeah.
So I'll do it this time. I'll use it on this one, which is good. I needed it. I got 18... 21.
Okay. As you're kind of looking at the sword, your vision like pulses red for a moment and you see those two remaining threads kind of weaving through time in front of your face. And one of them like strains, but doesn't pop.
Oh, I really don't want to mess with those. Okay. I'll go make dinner. I'm not messing with no threads.
So as Andalus in Bonnie's form goes downstairs to make dinner, we'll go to Ravik. So you experience something very similar as you pass through wait, I didn't write. What did I do?
Which Ravik though?
Hold on, what did I write here? I wrote ace twice.
Ronnie also got a 4, I think.
Yeah, so I wrote ace twice. I wrote Andalus and then I wrote ace. So all right. So Ronnie, this is Ronnie. So Ronnie, as kind of like you experience that same like chronal distortion that Andalus felt as they were stepping through, you kind of close your eyes for a second against the strain, and when you open them, you are standing in kind of a narrow alley in a city street, high, like 3-story buildings where the first floor it doesn't stick out as much as the second and the third floor. So those overhanging buildings kind of collapse the angle of the alley going up, and you can see like distant starlight above your head, kind of washed out by the lights of the city. And there's lit braziers and torches and lanterns all over the place here in this alleyway. And you're kind of looking out towards a more broad thoroughfare in this moment. What would you like to do?
As I'm looking around, I'm looking up and just trying to get like an idea of what like the city skyline is, or like, you know, any unique buildings. Do I recognize the location that I'm
Do you know
in?
how to navigate by stars?
Well, so
I mean, not knowing exact location, but to give you
as a sailor,
rough idea
Ravik
of-
would, yeah. Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check, Ravik.
Perception. Oh, not bad. +4. Let's see. A natural 20 for
Natural
a 24.
20. Yeah, so like kind of you step up towards you don't leave the alleyway, but you step up towards the kind of the entrance to the alleyway, and you're looking out on the main thoroughfare. And this is a kind of a wide pedestrian thoroughfare. You don't see any like carts or anything moving along it. And as you get closer, like the sounds of this thoroughfare begin to reverberate, and there's like music coming from like three doors down. You can see like a tavern with like lights and people pouring out of it. The streets are lined with individuals. It looks like it might be a festival day or something here. And glancing up at the stars, you realize like you are further north than probably you've ever been before, because I do not believe that Ravik's ever been to Anarvir.
Never been to Anarvir, huh?
I don't think so.
All right. I'm just gonna sort of roam through this. What am I wearing? Am I like...
Okay, you look down. You are wearing a you're wearing a dark cloak over, like hiding the clothes underneath. The first thing you notice is like you're wearing gloves over your hands and like kind of longer sleeves to hide your arms. When you pull the cloak back a little bit, you are kind of shocked to find the underneath is like this blue and pink kind of cut off looking top. You know, the white exposed stomach and kind of like blooming pantaloons beneath that you have seen Lucky wear before.
Oh, okay. I'll pull up the hood of the cloak.
Okay.
And just make my way towards the people. I don't see anything that is recognizable.
Okay. So as you go to leave the alleyway, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
With my stats or with Lucky stats?
With your stats.
Where's my dexterity? Oh, there. Okay.
It's like seeming has been cast on you, so it's still your stats. Yeah.
A 9.
A 9. So as you go to step out of the alleyway into the main thoroughfare, you feel suddenly like something snatch the back of your cloak and drag you back into the alleyway, and you hear, no. You were told to wait here for me, not to go off and do your own thing. And you turn and you see another figure with a cloak kind of covering their head, their features shadowed, but you don't recognize the voice, but and he kind of like pulls you back into the alleyway, and he's like, eager on only your second mission to go make a name for yourself, are you, Lucky?
Lucky.
So what this person hears is Lucky's voice trying to do Lucky's voice.
Well, who could this be?
That is interesting. And what should I pull you while we're on this mission?
Oh, do you think that we're one of those organizations that likes to come up with like sneaky code names? Do you want a code name? We can call you Bright Light or something.
Code names are fun.
Night Bright.
So we can use our normal names while we are... What are we doing again?
Did you hit your head, Lucky?
I think it's all the excitement. It's probably caused me to forget with the festivities going on.
You didn't seem kind of like a festival guy, but Lucky, I'm your leader in this moment. I just want to make sure that your head is all in the right place before we go off. This is not a touch and go mission, but I do need you in the clear. You do not. He kind of pulls the hood back in the shadows of the alleyway, and you see a very handsome man with like 5 o'clock shadow on his face, kind of blonde hair, messy and swooped off to the side. And he,
I hate him, motherfucker.
He's like,
Straight up fuckboy. Straight up fuckboy.
Lucky, Yorian.
Damn him. Did you not get it till now, Ronnie?
No, I did not.
Ronnie.
We haven't heard about Yorian in this campaign since episode 1. So.
I've been waiting. I know he'd be bad to haunt me.
This is the only reason I'm sad that Jace is not here.
And to yell at Angelicite for being dead.
Lose you lose.
Yeah. He kind of throws the hood back up. You're mostly here because you have the ability to heal me if I get injured. But I hope that you've been working on your stealth a little bit, because we are going to have to sneak in to the location for the object.
The object that we are going after. And what does it look like again? Just
leave that to me.
Oh, the more I know, the more helpful I can be.
Oh, the less you know, the less likely you're going to be a voice when you get caught.
Who says I'll get caught?
Well, let's find out then, shall we? And he heads out in the alleyway, out of the alleyway into the thoroughfare, and is like dodging up the street. Do you follow it?
I do my best to keep pace.
Okay, so moving into the festival goers, kind of moving with the flow of traffic as they're moving through the theater district of Anarvir here towards what looks like a festival ground that's like up in the main central like market area. We'll cut over to Kieran. So Kieran,
It's like waiting for the teacher to call your name in class.
yeah. Kieran, so you like experience all of those changes that you have that I described. And when you open your eyes, you are like, you can tell that you are exhausted. You can tell that you have been spending a lot of time doing something and not getting a lot of sleep. You are in a beautifully well-appointed library. There are like 5 like massive, huge bookshelves that go up like to the 3rd floor. There's like tall ladders that move around the bottom space, and then spiral ladders that go up to a 2nd floor that you can like move around with ladders, and then a 3rd floor up at the top. And you kind of lift your head up where you've fallen asleep on a scattering of books in front of you, and kind of bleary-eyed or looking around this chamber that you do not recognize.
What are the book titles?
Yeah. So the book directly in front of you that has a little bit of wet spot from where you fell asleep and slobbered all over it is a book entitled Traveling the Planes of Existence, Coordinates Needed, and it's by plane rider Thornknot. And the page that you're on is like this like beautiful diagram of like articulating geometry with like beautiful symbols drawn all around it, like a careful geometric sequence. And the title on this is Plane Shift. And then the page next to it is a list of ingredients needed attached to different planes of existence.
Okay. Now, Kieran knows about different planes from being on the astral sea. So,
make a history check for me.
Histoire. That's a natural 3 plus 5, so 8.
8. Yeah, so the most that it gets here is like in Kieran's home, there are daises with beautifully carved runic symbols on them where various members of the merchant class or whatever can just go step on them and get teleported to another plane of existence. And so like you're kind of racking your brain, and the only thing that you can pull from this is that like this doesn't look like the type of magic that's done where you're from. Like the design looks different. Like you've seen those before when you've gone off with your dad on missions or whatever. But you like the way it's drawn or the way it's designed or the language it's written in, none of that seems familiar to you, but it doesn't give you a sense of like anything else.
Okay. Are there any notes, like a notebook or anything that I might have been taking notes in?
Yeah.
Besides the list of ingredients?
Absolutely. There's a very like well-worn journal that has like, you know, like a leather binding around it that is loose and is not open, but you can tell like this book has been filled with notes and over the course of time and is well used. So you can look through that if you like.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Okay, you open up to the first page and it says the Journal of Ravik Seaborn.
Oh, well, now this is just a fine barrel of fish.
As you are looking at it, and you kind of say that out loud, you kind of flip to the back page and you see that like Ravik has written like, I found the final ingredients needed for the spell. I've found the spell and transcribed it into my spell book. I just need to read it while holding the object in this way, and it will be activated. And I have everything that I need to do what I need to do in this moment.
Is there an object on me, around me, that this might be referring to?
Yeah, you kind of like pat your pockets and check your pack, and in your like front vest pocket, and which is when you finally look down and see like the bare tattooed arm of Ravik and like and everything, and you pat like the front vest and you feel something metallic in it, and you pull it out and you see this like metal tuning fork that has runic carvings all down both of the spines of the fork, and it matches the drawing that you saw in the book for the plane of water.
Oh boy.
You change Robert's whole backstory if you want.
Yeah, as you're looking at it, you hear a voice call from the entrance to the library. Banning the Midnight Oil Library again, Ravik. And you see this like tall, dark-skinned, beautiful braided hair kind of pulled back, tattoos all up and down both of her arms, two very vicious looking blades like in scabbards on either hip. She kind of walks in with like a wine glass in one hand and another, and like a whole bottle of wine in the other. And she sets the wine down in front of you and pours a gulp, and she says, well, if you are going to not sleep, you might as well drink, don't you think?
Oh, I might have a sip or two.
I've never seen you stop at just a sip or two, but here, I'll leave the bottle for you.
Well, one has to start somewhere.
Have you found anything worthwhile? Are you ready to return to the Seablade? We need you on our next mission.
I think I might have found what I was looking for, but I need to be sure.
Well, if you...
It shouldn't be long, though.
Well, good. I am overtired with the leadership role that I've been thrust into here, and I would like to get out to the ocean as soon as possible. The final repairs to the ship should be done in a fortnight. Is 2 weeks
Oh,
more
I'll be
enough
ready
time?
by then.
Good. Well,
I'll be ready by then, I'm sure.
well, take good care then. But if you're not on the ship, then I will kill you.
That seems fair.
She kind of pats your back and like tosses like a bag in front of you that has like leftover pastries from looks like a party or something that happened in the area. As she kind of saunters out of the chamber, and you have no idea who this was.
No, but I Karen congratulates himself on a Ravik impression well done. And is completely confused. But it's just kind of like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm going to get up and go. Are there any windows, or basically try and figure out where in the hell I am?
Yeah, there's a large window, there's a break in the shelves where there's a large not a window, but like an open like French door that go out onto a balcony. And so you can go out
like
there.
A portico?
Yeah, portico. And you go out onto this balcony and you see like it's nighttime. Based on the where the moon is in the sky, you think it's probably like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And you're looking out at you can tell that you're on a high cliff that's overlooking a bay below, and there is a crescent-shaped city surrounding a massive port where there are 12 or 13 galleons like docked currently, all flying a very similar flag. And there's just the lights shining in the city and just the distant sounds of music coming up the cliff. And you kind of turn around and look, and like you're in this massive like portside palazzo, beautiful stucco walls, shingled roofs, and you're on like the 3rd floor of what seems to be like a 6th floor like mansion here, and at the corner off to the side, there's a circular rampart or turret area, and there's a flag, and the same flag is flapping in the winds above this palazzo.
Would Kieran recognize that flag?
Make a history check for me, because you may have encountered people bearing this symbol before.
This one's much better than the last time. History?
Yeah.
24.
Yeah.
I rolled a 19.
Only because Hightower is the gateway for trade with the upper part of the continent in Illyria. You've seen individuals like bearing this symbol before, like mostly working through like the underground areas or the black market areas within Hightower, who you've tried to make connections with because you want to build connections with all the various different, trading organizations that exist. These are they represent the Tidewater Syndicate.
Okay. Ravik, what were you up to? And I'm going to go back and read back, skim the diary, the most recent things to figure out. Okay, obviously he was looking for this thing and found it. Why?
Yeah. So
what is he up to?
So you skim back through and you just see many entries that are reporting on like the research that he's done, finding the name of the Merid that he's trying to track down, finding the location of the Merid's tower or like layer within the Tower of Water, and then ultimately like through black market dealings finding this book that has the exact spell that he needs and the tools that he needs to get there. He describes like robbing this really well-to-do individual on one of the other islands in the Vanishing Islands to get this tuning fork, and being kind of slightly worried that maybe he didn't get away without them knowing that something was missing or stolen from their vault. But you can tell that you are on like if you're looking at the way that the journal's going, it's like all of the preparations are in place. It was like today is the day. Like he was going to go today to deal with this issue. And the only reference that you get is that something about he does at one point in all of this work references his mother.
Well, fuck. Is there a place for me to cast the spell?
Yeah, you looking around the chamber, you can tell that Ravik has prepared a space to draw the circle.
I start drawing the circle.
I need you to make a intelligence check.
Another natural 19.
Ooh.
So +2. So 21.
Definitely a space where the cannon threads could have been tested, but Kieran's intelligence shows through, and you carefully draw the circle the way
Ravik made great notes.
Yeah, he did.
It's like I have no idea what this means or what it does, but it's an arc of this degree, and I can do that.
Yep. You draw the circle. You stand in the middle. You mouth the words of the spell that are on in the spell book, and you feel the energy kind of coursing through. You hit the tuning fork at the right frequency at the right moment, and the vibrancy of that sound kind of echoes through the chamber, and slowly that humming sound of the tuning fork, that slowly starts turning into the of waves crashing and filling the library. And suddenly every part of the rune begins to glow and light up from corner to corner and rune to rune. And you feel yourself yanked, and it's almost like you're turned upside down as the world flips, and then it reorients itself. And you open your eyes, and Kieran has seen this location before. You are standing on the portico entrance to the Tower of Storms at the center of the maelstrom within the tower, or the plane of water. And we'll cut now to Atwood.
Oh boy.
Atwood, your eyes open, and it's a very familiar kind of setting that you find yourself in. A hamlet, a small community or town. The thing that's slightly off for Bonnie is that you're standing on like the edge of a vast like lake, or perhaps the edge of the ocean, and you're looking at a rickety wharf that goes out to small fishing boats. And I mean, Bonnie's been to the lake in the Veltland maybe once, but the largest lake in the Veltland is very far away from Bonnie's home. And so this doesn't match what you know about your home. And you're also looking around and like don't see a lot of herringon moving in this vicinity. So you're definitely not in, I can't remember the pronunciation of the town that Bonnie lived in. It's like...
Oh, Hopscotch?
Oh yeah, Hopscotch. Yeah. Well, the other one was like the town where
it's the same town. They just changed.
They changed the name. Yeah.
Okay. Everybody unified.
There you go. Yeah. So it doesn't look like Hopscotch. Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, what is going on here?
You say, and you just kind of like a voice behind you says, "Well." We've got to get the ship ready for launch for the morning fishing run.
I'm gonna like look around and the sound of voice.
And you turn and you see like mending a set of nets. You see this kind of slightly brawny, maybe mid-30s, half-elven figure with like tan skin, and like a light way that, you know, the way that half elves can grow like a little bit of a mustache and a goatee. And he's kind of working over the nets. He's like, "Are you going to help me with this? Or are you just going to stand looking at the ocean all day?"
Oh, sure. Alrighty.
And I'm gonna try to help. And Bonnie's not
Yeah. Go ahead.
Bonnie has not done a lot of fishing or sailing, so this should be interesting.
So applying Bonnie's knowledge of like sewing to this, let's go ahead and make a dexterity check, and you can add your proficiency with it.
Okay. That'll be a +4 to this roll. It's an 8.
An 8. As you're doing that, at some point he kind of just like the other individual kind of like takes the net back from you and just says, Corvirus, why don't you just make sure the boat is in a good shape? And kind of points to a very small fishing boat with a single sail that's currently like a triangle sail, currently like wrapped up around the mast. He says, we're going to get out before the sun goes up. We won't be able to check for any holes under the light of the moon.
Oh, all right then.
And I'm gonna go check the boat for hole.
Okay. So as you walk out onto the wharf, like you hear like your feet, like light leather boots, like going against the mast.
I'll take this moment to examine myself.
Yeah, you look at,
like
you see like white, like tan skin from being out in the sun, but tan skin, not hair, and a well, like I work hard for a living kind of body shape. Glancing down into the waves lightly washing up under the wharf here, you see kind of a reflection of another half-elven male, maybe about the same age as the other individual, kind of a shock of red hair that's like kind of blowing in the wind. And you kind of catch your reflection for a moment, and you look like a guy who's lived a decent enough life in a small town. But as you're kind of looking over into the water, you feel like this weird like jolt within your system, and suddenly you are falling through the air, and there's just clouds everywhere around you, and you are just falling. The sun's above you. You are falling into the clouds. A moment later, like you feel yourself pass through the clouds, and it's like that condensation begins to form. And as your hands are flying up around you, you see the metallic form of Andalus's arm, kind of floating in the air next to you as you're falling and falling and falling. What would you like to do as you fall?
Be like, oh gosh, this is not how I imagined today was gonna go.
As you shout that out, you hear a voice like somewhere below you through the clouds that just says, remember, you just have to call out for it and it will come to you. You do not have to be afraid. It will catch you. You just have to call it by name.
Help!
Have you forgotten its name already?
I have. Atwood has.
You don't know what the name
You don't know its name.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
Yeah. As you continue to fall.
Yeah.
Me, I'm scared I'll pronounce it wrong.
Oh, Lord. And you hear the voice call out again. It says, Jetstream, catch him. And for a moment, you kind of fall into the clouds, and your vision goes like hazy within the cloud structure. There's just like water pelting you from all directions. And suddenly you feel something like catch up beneath you and match your pace. And then you land on its back. And then you feel yourself flying higher up out of the cloud, and you burst up into the blue sky with the lights above you from the sun, and you see metallic wings flare out on either side of this massive metallic dragon figure that you are flying on, and another one kind of courses up next to you and it matches your speed, and you see this beautifully regal Lightforge, beautiful platinum and gold skin, like wearing a light cloak that's blowing in the wind with a symbol on it of like a metallic dragon's head. And she kind of looks over in your direction and just says, well, the training does require that you are able to do that on your own. But I suppose for today we can say that it was a C minus.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry about that. It was on the tip of my my mouth, or feel like, see if I have a tongue, like
Yeah.
A metallic tongue, yeah.
yeah, the tip of my tongue there. Yeah.
Are you feeling okay?
Oh yeah, I'm just hunky dory, a-okay.
Well, remember, yours is designated as Jetstream, so do not forget it. There is a coding with the voice. It will only follow you. Abel's was very specific that in the construction of these devices that each one was given its own personality.
It's called Jetstream. I'll remember that. Thank you so much.
Yes, well, I believe the rest of the early training crew is probably ahead of us, so we should probably catch up. They are, of course, probably need their advisor and teacher, not only looking after one of their lost cups.
Josh, what was the name, the half elf name again? I want to write that down.
Corvirus.
Okay. I'm gonna look at the other light forge and I'm gonna say, I have a quick question for you.
Of course, yes.
Does the name Corvirus mean anything to you?
Yes, it has something to do with ravens, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I just remembered it is all.
I think the name comes from the common word for Corvinus or Corvus, which is a raven.
But you don't know anyone named Corvirus?
It's not a very common name in Nuevia.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Okay, well, and she kind of flies down into the cloud, and you follow her pace away.
Hi, Amanira. I missed you. I love you. Hi, Amanira.
Amanira. Yeah. Andalus.
Oh, yeah.
So you prepared dinner. Let's go ahead and make a.
Oh God, what do I have to roll for
Let's
that?
see. What is a dinner preparation?
This might have to be a disadvantage because he doesn't eat food.
There's a lot of salt in this.
Bonnie doesn't really know how to cook either, so this is probably part of the course.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great when you do it better.
Yeah, so do a dexterity check, add your proficiency bonus, but at disadvantage.
Okay. Well, I rolled a nat 1, so that sounds about right for what I should roll.
You were going to make a carrot something. So describe what a nat 1 carrot something looks like as you serve it for the 5 children present here.
I think what I wanted to make like curry, but don't know how to make curry. So I think it's like dry curry powder with like raw carrot chopped into it. And then like milk on the side.
Yeah. One of the
something so bad.
One of the older children wasn't one of the 3 that was running around. This is an older, also herring gone child. It has a scar across his cheek. He kind of looks at it. He goes, Bonnie, you have to actually cook it. And one of the kids like hits him and he says, no, you have to say mom.
Oh, I know that. I like go to put it in the oven.
So now we're gonna wait for dinner again?
How about we all do dessert for dinner? I'm sure there's dessert somewhere around here. I like go looking for like cookies or something.
So you go to look in there's a cookie jar. There's also like an ice box that has like an enchantment on it. And you do see that there's like a cake or something inside of there.
Oh yeah, we're ripping out the cake.
Okay.
Yeah, I take out the cake.
You pull out the cake and the older one says, Harold's not here. Why we can't eat that yet?
Oh, we have to let it defrost look, is it a birthday cake?
It looks kind of like it might be a birthday cake.
Oh, okay. We have so many things that are appropriate to eat. Yeah, I just rummage through it. Like anything that's like a cookie or like a cracker or a biscuit just gets put on the table.
Yeah, one of the
cheese, anything.
One of the younger ones kind of like pulls on your apron and goes, "Is that my birthday cake?"
It's for Harold.
It's not his birthday.
Then I don't know. Let's. Do you want a cracker? Here, I can give them one of the cookies.
There's like a calendar on the wall with like big hearts on like the day's date. It's like, do not forget.
He says, but dad's made he said he was going to make me a cake for my birthday. Is that my cake for my birthday?
I don't know. He made it.
Are you okay, Mom? You've been acting a little weird today.
I'm just having a lot of new experiences. I'm gonna see if there's wine in this house.
Is there wine in Bonnie's house?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Is there any booze in your house?
Bonnie hasn't had a drink in like 25, 30 years.
Are we supposed to live like this?
At this point, Bonnie hasn't had a drink in about a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I don't know. There might be like
an emergency flask.
Emergency
wine. Harold might have something, but that's going to be it.
And the children are kind of like the older child gets up and like he starts to cook a meal, and you can just kind of hear him over there like, oh, God, can't even trust Bonnie to like put this together. And he's kind of shit talking you in the corner. He like looks back over and he says, is Harold coming back this evening? It's getting kind of late.
I think he said he was going to meet up with some guys about some stuff with his job.
His job?
Yeah, I don't know. He's real secretive. I'm really secretive. Why am I telling you anything?
The postal workers are having a meeting this late at night?
They have to deliver a lot of mail here.
He kind of looks over and he says, "Hey guys, can you go down to your rooms and gather the stuff together for the birthday celebration?" And the four younger children, who are all much younger than this older one, goes downstairs, and he kind of turns and he says, "Can you stop bullshitting, Bonnie? What is going on?"
How old does this kid look?
He looks like 16.
I don't really know. Harold says something about talking to the malicious. I don't know what that means.
The militia?
Yeah, that's probably not good, if I had to guess.
Do you think they've... Are they coming back?
I know that Harold and I will do anything to protect you all. I know that for a fact.
You should know. Are they coming back here?
I don't know. How am I supposed to know? He's going to talk to them right now.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I don't know. I don't know anything. What is this? Okay. I got a 17.
For a moment, your vision goes red and you see those tethers float in your eye, and one of them strains but does not rip.
The right choice. Not the right choice. Like I said, everything will be fine. Just get the cake set up.
He kind of goes over to like one of the furniture in the area, and behind it, he's hidden a pack, and you see him grab it and throw it over his shoulders. And you can see that there is a small like sword sticking out of the top of the pack. And he's like, "Look, if you're not going to do anything about it and they're coming back, I'm going to go help Dad." And he leaves. And you can tell that is the first time that this child has ever said the word dad when referring to Harold. And he starts to leave the room.
I felt like that was disrespectful. But I don't really know. I don't know, dude. You should act independently based on your own decisions, but you probably shouldn't go fight anyone.
Well, if you're not going to do it, and you're the one that can, somebody in this family has to step up.
Wow. feel like Bonnie would really hate hearing that. It did not sound good. Well, if you stay here and watch your siblings, I'll go out there.
Do you promise?
Yeah, I know where my sword is.
I thought you got rid of that.
But I got rid of it too.
He looks at you very strange, and then he kind of puts the pack down, and he kind of takes the sword out, and you can tell it is a beat up. Like he bought this for like 2 silver from the trash pit, the local blacksmith. He hands it over. He hands it to you, and he says, if Harold is meeting with the militia, then that means that they're coming back. They're coming for you.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, no, and sorry, not like that. Why would they be coming for me?
He kind of like brushes the scar on his cheek.
Well, then it's even more important that I go. Okay, you stay here.
He goes back and you walk out. And as you leave the house, you see like the house is kind of up on a hill, and there's a path that winds down into the valley and meets another road that seems to go off towards maybe town or whatever. And hitched at a post down at the bottom of the hill, you see a very large horse. Not a draft horse, not a fast riding horse. It is covered in intricate armor. It is a horse made for war.
And there's no rider near it?
Walking up the hill, you see a tall, noble-looking Harengon. Dark fur, scars on his cheek, he has a massive greatsword strapped across his back. And he kind of looks at you and he says, I'd notice Bren anywhere if I saw her.
Fuck are you?
And we'll cut over to Ravik. Ravik.
Lore, the deep Bonnie lore getting dropped tonight.
I'm not dropping all of it, but we're getting a taste.
And a flashback to Andalusite's soul precursor.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I need to know who this is. Yeah.
Ravik. So as you're following Yorian through the crowd, I need you to make a stealth check for me, please.
Stealthy. Ooh. Okay, sorry. I'll just do this because I clicked out of that. Oh wow, that is that a 7 on the dice? So probably not that great.
Look, even my guards can beat that.
10.
10. Okay. So you follow Yorian through the crowd, kind of weaving through. You're not trying to be super stealthy at this moment, but when you see him peel off through an iron an iron overhang that has a gate that's currently open, but you can see 2 guards on either side who are distracted by the revelries and people kind of running by and talking to them. He sneaks by as they're not looking, and Lucky is passing through, and one of them who's like chatting with this voluptuous woman who's like chatting with them. They are kind of drunk off of her ass as she just came from one of the pubs down there, and she's like, "Oh my god, the man in uniform is so attractive." And Yorian slips by at that moment. But then as you're slipping by, he kind of turns and catches your eye, and for a second, your vision like pulses red, and you see a thread, like these 3 threads pop up into your vision. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw because Lucky didn't fail this check.
Of course, Lucky didn't. Because they're lucky. All right. And 13.
13. So for a moment, your kind of vision is like pulsing, and you see one of those threads kind of twist in the air and then snaps, and you feel this like pulse through your body, and like you take like 2 steps back, and then suddenly like it's almost like time rewound for a second. I need you to make another stealth check.
Oh, cool.
Jesus. I didn't warm these dice up first. Maybe that's. You gotta warm up your dice.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Use the dice Jace gave you.
These are the dice that Jace gave. 13 on the dice, so 16. Total.
16. Okay. So as the woman is like flirting with the guard, you slip past, and he begins to turn his head, but then she like does like the thing where she pulls him back. She's nah, honey, I'm over here. And you snip through, and like you find yourself in this garden that's leading up to this manor house. And Yorian like, psst, Lucky, over here. And he kind of pulls you off over into the bushes. He says, almost had a little run-in with the gods. You have to be more careful.
Yeah, that was very strange. I got a strong sense of deja vu, but yeah, I'm careful. I'll be careful.
I tend to have that effect on people. All right, so we're going to go into the kitchen entrance. The current cook is one of ours, Vox Veritae. And should have left it unlocked. Do you still have your thieves' tools just in case?
I never go anywhere without them, and I look to check if Lucky has them on.
Yeah, in your pouch there are some. All right.
Can I do an insight check on this Yorian?
Yeah.
Trust this person? Do I?
So you're doing you're doing an insight check on Lucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
How does Lucky feel about this person?
I'm doing insight on Lucky.
Yeah, like does Lucky trust this person? Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Does Lucky? Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
Well. Oh, so I wouldn't. I was gonna say like with my background with, espionage and.
Okay, so you want to do this check as Ravik against Yorian. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can do an insight check. Mm-hmm.
I do it with advantage, knowing like a scam artist knows a scam artist.
Game recognized game,
like
sure. Yeah,
scammer.
You can have advantage with your criminal background.
Let's see. 17.
So Yorian is a bullshitter, like 1000%. But Ravik recognizes, Ravik sees in Yorian, like, gosh, this is kind of looking like in a mirror, like somebody who is a charming manipulator, like knows that he is a good looking guy and can get what he wants by like being flirtatious or whatever. But he seems like you don't get the sense that he's being dishonest with you. Like, he, by mentioning, like, Ravik doesn't know Vox Veritae, but it sounds really similar to Vox Populi, who you've met in the past. And like, that's a secretive organization as far as Ravik knows, other than some of the members have like come out and are now working within the government. And so you get the sense it's probably just like, he trusts you enough to tell you that there's an informant in this house. So Ravik would never tell that to somebody who wasn't on his team.
My main thing is on this mission is he being on the up and up. Am I gonna have to look out for being screwed over or left behind or left out of the cut type of?
He doesn't seem like the kind of person who's going to leave you behind.
Okay, yeah. I find my thieves tool. Okay. I'm all set.
All right. So he kind of holds you.
Robert is standing behind him, who kind of thinks like, nice ass. Okay.
he pulls you down for a
really
moment
Robert.
as a guards patrol, and he's like, "All right, be ready to move in 1, 2, 3, go!" And he begins to move back through the bushes and the areas around the side of this beautiful house to a side entrance. And he gets up to the door and he goes to open it, and it is locked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I guess this is where I step in.
Yep. All right. I'll.
Sleight of hand, or
He like pulls a rapier, and then a hand crossbow, and he's like, "Well, I'll watch your back. You've probably got." And he kind of thinks he's like calculating the movement of the guards. He says, "I think you've got about 10 seconds before they're going to round around and see this area again. So, chop chop. Then make a sleight of hand check."
okay, I'm on it. Sleight of hand. Don't fail me now. Ooh, 18 on the dice. Plus 6. Yep.
Oh, we're up. Robik's
24.
proficient. Good. So as you're kind of clicking, like you can feel the clock ticking, and he's like, "All right, let's go."
It's like
And then,
all time.
and it clicks, and then the door opens, and you can push it open, and you both slide into the kitchen and close it gently behind you. It's like, well, either Bertrand is drunk and forgot, or he's a shit traitor.
Could be both.
Well, let's find out, shall we? And you see Yorian like moves deeper into the kitchen and finds like the servants' entrance, goes in, and he descends down a set of stairs and opens a door to the right. And you see inside a sleeping individual snoring, like a bottle of alcohol next to him. He says, "Well, he's quite asleep. Let's case the room and see if he's compromised, shall we? Old Bertrand." Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Not Robert's strong suit.
Well,
I got +3. Yeah.
you can use advantage. Yorian, you rolled high enough to help.
Well, I rolled a 19 on the first roll. Can I just keep that one?
Yeah.
21. Yeah.
All right. So as Yorian is kind of like mostly is looking at Bertrand, you can see he still has the hand crossbow and the rapier out. You find on Bertrand's desk like a letter, and it is like a half-written letter that he's in the process of putting together, and it's like members of this organization were attempting to rob the master of the house. This is my contact's name, and you see Yorian Taldoran is written in the contact, and he's in the process of like he was writing something to report this to the letter is addressed to Iris Corday.
Oh, Iris was... Who's Iris?
She was the leader
Iris
of Vox
was
Populi.
the
the-
Vox Populi.
What's Populi? Yeah.
Ravik wouldn't know that, but yeah. But
No.
Ravik would know that
That was Ronnie trying to remember.
Ravik would know that she is currently the leader of the Illyrian government at the Hall of Voices.
Okay.
Does
Making
Lucky
a lot of omelets tonight.
does Lucky show this to Yorian?
Lucky. Oh, shoot. What would Lucky do in this
Because
situation?
one, you know that if like Ravik would know that if this were to happen in the Tidewater Syndicate, Aryan Squall-Eater would have no problem putting a bullet in the man's head immediately.
Yeah, but Ravik doesn't necessarily operate that way, but this is Lucky's past. I just don't see him as a cold-blooded enough to let a man just
As
grab
you're
his own ticket to
as you're
his death.
contemplating, like your vision begins to
slip in
turn
my pocket.
red and those two threads pop up into your vision. This is a canon moment. And you slip it into your pocket?
Yeah.
Okay, so you make the choice to fold it and put it in your pocket. I need you to make a sleight of hand check. This is Bertrand. He was writing a letter that was exposing Yorian Taldaran to Iris Corday.
Bertrand? What was Bertrand?
Bertrand was just the dude who works in this house. He's nobody.
Oh. I thought he was
Poor Bertrand.
Poor Bertrand.
Yeah.
Damn! Okay, 2 on the dice.
Make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Shit.
Just in a quiet room, the crumpling of paper just goes into a pocket.
I'm like, hold the paper.
Look over there.
17 on the dice. Constitution. 20.
Time kind of moves back a little bit. Now you can put it in your pocket, or you can try to put it in your pocket again. You can just leave it on the desk and not tell Yorian about it, or you can try to lie to Yorian. There's different ways that you could do this.
Or you could tell Yorian.
Yeah, or you could tell Yorian.
With this being the second time that I've experienced like the rewind of time,
the canon moment, you seem to move past that. Like the thread wasn't challenged by the decision not to tell Yorian.
It was
Lucky apparently didn't tell Yorian in this moment.
Ooh,
okay.
that's crazy. Sorry.
Realizing that, okay, Lucky will. Damn, don't want to try to sleight of hand again. What is in the room? Is there a fire or a candle?
Yorian is kind of like, did you find anything?
I can't say that I have.
Make a deception check.
Because I literally can't say it. That's true. Oh, deception, buddy. 17 on the dice.
Very good to have Ravik
25.
in Lucky's role in this moment. Okay, good. Yorian says, well, I guess he's just a drunkard then. Let's go. We don't have much time. And he leaves the chamber and heads back up the stairs.
Do I leave the note? I take the note, yeah.
You take the note with you?
Yeah, he's just going to write another one.
Okay. Yeah, you put the note in your pocket and you feel like this weird reverberation, like in time, but the threads don't pop up. Nothing changes. And you follow.
Well, hopefully with the note missing, he kind of like, oh, someone's on to me. Maybe I shouldn't, All
right. So you head upstairs and you see Yorian is kind of working at a door with his own lockpicking set. And this one has like a special knob that works with magical locks. And so he's kind of working at this. And he says, all right. And you hear a click and then you see a spell dispel on the door. And then the door pushes in and opens. And Yorian takes 3 steps in and suddenly springs a trap. And you see 6 arrows fly out of the wall and hit Yorian. And he begins to bleed all over the floor. We'll cut over to Kieran. At the
maybe the bastard will finally get his comeuppance. This could be great.
This might explain why we haven't heard from his ass.
Oh no! At the door of the Tower of Storms, Kieran, what would you like to do?
I go up. And I knock.
Okay, there's the large knocker on the thing. And so you kind of you hear kind of this like rumbling sound from inside the tower. And suddenly like these 2 large tentacles like rise up out of the depths on either side of the tower, and they're kind of like fishing around, and then a voice like through the door, yes, welcome to the Tower of Storms. Who may I say is calling, and what is your purpose here?
Ravik Seaborn. I knocked because I didn't want y'all to think I was trying to break in.
Make a persuasion check for me, please.
That would be a natural 1.
So
Never.
in that moment, suddenly like the tentacles of the Kraken that protect this space whip out and wrap around Ravik, and you just feel your neck snap as these 3 tendrils pop into your vision, and one of them like begins to pull. Make a Constitution saving throw for me, Kieran.
Con is a 15.
Okay, so like it stretches, but then kind of rebounds, and you feel yourself like blasted back, and you were just about to grab the knocker to knock, and you realize that you've gone back in time for a moment.
I opened the door.
Okay, so you go to push the door open, and it is currently you're not able to open the door. I didn't put this on Ravik's spell list, but he does have access to the knock spell.
Would Kieran know how to cast a spell as Ravik?
You have a spell book.
I will flip through to see if I can find anything useful. I find the knock spell.
Okay, make an Arcana check for me, please.
I'm going to use the different dice.
You have to hit a 12, I think, for a second level spell.
I got a 14 on the die plus 2.
Perfect. So you kind of like are mumbling the words that are on here, not really understanding what it is. You kind of put your hand out and you hear like feel this like energy like wash through your hands, and you feel this reverberation of like sound kind of reverberate off, but in the water it's dampened a little bit by the sound of the maelstrom of water around you, and the door like lifts and then swings inward, and you are free to swim into Alpahar's lair.
I go in and I shut the door behind me.
Perfect. You are in a chamber that is probably, it's 2 stories tall, but these are tall stories. And there's curling staircases that go up for no reason because you can swim. There's a large like coral studded door on the 2nd floor. And you can see like several smaller doors and hallways leading off of the lower floor. Which direction would you like to go?
Swim towards the coral door.
Okay, so you swim up. Go ahead and make a. Are you trying to be stealthy or are you trying to just make it quickly?
I move like I own the place.
Okay, so
what would Ravik do?
I rolled a 1
I'm
and
just in here so I can come and visit.
There are 3 guardians in this chamber. One rolled a 1 on perception because of course. One rolled a 3 on perception because of course. But as Ravik is swimming up to the 2nd one, suddenly this shadow passes over you, and diving down out of the upper portion of the area. Oh, that's a natural 20. A large shark bites into Ravik and like slams him down onto the 2nd floor area of like right in front of that coral door. And you take 11 points of piercing damage as he slams you into the ground, and you are grappled in his grip. What would you like to do?
Is this an elemental?
No, this is this is a shark.
Okay.
It's just enthralled by the master of the house. Oh, I forgot I didn't add Misty Step. He also has Misty Step. He has Misty Step and Dimension Door too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hold up there, big fella. I'm just here to talk. And I will Misty Step out.
Okay, you Misty Step out right in front of the coral door. You still have your movement and an action.
I knock on this door.
Okay, you knock.
While keeping an eye on the shark.
The shark is like shaking off like the blood filling the area around him from Ravik, and he looks like he's getting ready to make another attack in your direction.
I can't cast 2 spells in the same round.
You can cast a cantrip.
I can't cast 2 spells in the same round.
No, you can cast you cast a bonus action leveled spell. You can cast a cantrip.
Yeah, no. What I wanted to do was a leveled spell.
Oh yeah. No, you can't do that. Yeah.
I'm a.
Yeah.
I will cast Friends on the shark.
Okay. And this is a shark that can understand your language because it speaks Primordial, as Ravik does. Is this save? It's a Wisdom saving throw.
No. Wisdom saving throw. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So that is a failure. He rolled
hang on.
a 6.
The target succeeds automatically if it isn't a humanoid, if you're fighting it, or if you have cast a spell on it within the past 24 hours.
So it says humanoid, but that is, in this situation, this is like an awakened shark because it's in service to the married. So it has a higher intelligence than a normal shark. So we'll let it fly here. The shark that was getting ready to like pull back and charge in your direction as a guardian of this hall kind of stops for a second.
Save 16.
Yeah, he failed. He kind of stops and he looks in your direction, and he can't speak, but he can understand what you're saying.
I'm just here to visit. See, I've already knocked on the door to announce my presence.
He kind of like swims over to the door and he butts his nose against it, and the door clicks and then swings open.
I walk through.
Okay.
Thanking my newfound friend.
Good. As you walk through the door, you find yourself on like the Tower of Storms is huge. It's probably like 200 feet wide. And you can tell that this chamber on this floor of the Tower of Storms like takes up a vast majority of this floor. It has curved edges that kind of meet towards the back. And like this door that you're in kind of cuts off the area, and then it meets that curved side and it curves all the way back and around. And there's tall towers of coral wrapping up to support the ceiling here, and beautiful like oyster shell tile that covers this whole chamber, going all the way back with these like blue glowing magical lights in the chamber here as well. And at the very far end, on a raised dais sitting in a massive clamshell, you see this this entity that looks fish-like in appearance, has kind of like a greenish blue skin, the chest exposed, and it's a lighter shade on the front, and it's darker on the back. The face is kind of like a mixture of humanoid and fish, not like a Sahagin, but like slightly different. But you can tell that even then, like there's almost like a glamour on this individual, that they are beautiful to behold, even if they look alien to normal view. And he's kind of sitting or floating above this clamshell a little bit, and he kind of motions down and he says, "Huh. The fledgling. Are you here for your mother then?" And he kind of waves a finger, and you see this like unconscious woman kind of float up next to him, like bound by a spell. "I knew that you were hunting me, looking for the lost items that I so carefully left in your path."
Well, sounds like you wanted to meet me, so what can I do for you?
Oh, well, I think...
Meanwhile, on the inside, Kieran is going, fuck, fuck, fuck.
I think I would like to make a deal with you. Your mother's done such a good job in my service. It would be nice to have someone of your talents as well.
Well, lay your offer on me.
Oh. What would you like in exchange for signing some of your time away to me?
Did Ravik ever tell the group about his mother?
Only Andulus.
Only Andulicite, I think, yeah. This is the first time that Kieran probably has seen, like, or heard reference to Ravik's mother, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there was the reference in the book about it that
he's looking for his
this
mother.
about his
yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is for his mother.
Yeah.
I learned not to lay all my cards on the table at the first hand. Give me your offer, and we'll parlay from there.
12 years of your service. In my name, I will grant you some powers to support your needs, and you will travel the seas with your pirate friends and skim off the top some of the best magic items for my name. How does that sound?
And in return, what do I get from this?
What would you like? And you can see there's like a parchment next to him that is like, as he speaks, is like writing in this glowing font everything he said. And it's paused and it's waiting for you.
Well, it seems like you're asking an awful lot of me. So, it should be something worth the time.
Okay. What would you like?
What can you offer?
I'm not in the mood to play games, Ravik.
Just kill
Well,
him.
that is interesting. Will you give me a moment to consider?
Absolutely. And he kind
I
of
go flipping back through the notebooks. See fucking
yeah. So
I basically just turn my back and like fuck.
yeah. So since you're doing it quickly, make an investigation check for me, please, to see if you can land on something of use here.
That's investigation.
Yeah.
That's a 10 plus 5. That's a 15. Plus I get a D4. 2, so 17.
17. So you kind of start at the beginning, you're flipping through. Like you can tell that Ravik's been writing in this journal since he was very young. And he doesn't mention his mother very much at all. There isn't one entry, and it's right before he like runs off and joins this like pirate group. But he's writing about somebody who abandoned him, and he didn't understand why she did it. And Kieran's intelligent enough to know that has to be about her. And you keep flipping through, and you find another entry where after whatever had happened with the Tidewater Syndicate, Ravik was looking through some random books in the library that they just taken over the Tidewater Syndicate. They were kind of like Saddam Husseining the palace, right? They're going through and exploring everything, and discovered this library, was going through it, and was just randomly flipping through, and it's the first time he writes a name, and it's like a journal entry where like he writes the name like 3 times in the journal entry, where he just like writes Leandra Vea. Like, why is she written in this book? I thought she was dead. And then you can tell that like the next like 3 years of Ravik's life were consumed with understanding where this information came from and what she was doing and where she was and why she wasn't coming home. And ultimately it was, she had made a deal with this Albahar. And it seems like Ravik's entire goal was to get to the point where he could release her from that deal. By any means necessary.
Okay. I'll turn back around. Thank you for your patience. What are the terms and conditions that you hold on my mother?
Well, hers is a lifetime commitment.
Well, why don't we just cut that down then, shall we?
Her deal is not up for negotiation. She owes me more than you can provide, little half-elf.
You asked me what I wanted.
And I'm saying that's not on the table.
So what is on the table?
Something else. And for the first time, Kieran, you feel like this red beginning to kind of flow in, that you are at a point where Ravik made a choice. Mm-hmm. And you have a moment to make the choice that Ravik did. The threads of fate begin to pop up here. What would Ravik do in this moment to try to free his mother after being told that her contract isn't up for negotiation?
What if we expanded the terms of mine?
Roll a Constitution saving throw.
15 plus 4, 19.
19. The thread as the moment you begin to talk, the thread begins to stretch. It doesn't shatter, and you feel yourself like thrown back into time for a moment, and like he's sitting waiting for your response to being told that her contract isn't up for negotiation.
What if I were to take on her contract?
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I know what it is.
That's a natural 18 plus 4, so that's a 22.
Same thing as happens. You can feel the strain. I will say that you can only succeed on one thread 3 times before it shatters without a saving throw.
Can't cancel the contract. Can't switch places with the contract.
Oh, I want to say something so bad. It's like
Need to
That's the
get
joy of
mother
it.
out of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Is mother an elf or a human?
She is an
Or
elf. She's a
sea
sea elf. Mm-hmm.
I need to step back. Can't break it. Can't abrogate it.
Yeah, diplomacy seems not to be working.
Fire a cone of cold.
Nice. You may roll initiative, and that is where we will
Yep.
pick up next week.
Yep, there we go, Rob. I was like, ditch the words, Rob. It's not words.
Yeah.
You're not looking for anything logical here.
Dirty 20 on initiative.
You will go first then, and you caught him by surprise. So that will go off, and then you'll get a turn off on that on the other side. However, yeah, Ravik chose to try to fight Albahar.
Yep.
What a
been like
boss.
one of the most disgusting, like creatures that Robert would have ever encountered. Like he's all about gluttony and like mistreating people. And
Yeah, but I'm used to Ravik being the smooth talker,
Mm-hmm.
and so
He's also, you have to remember, the youngest of the party.
Mm-hmm. And this was
years ago.
Yeah, this was
Kieran,
7
from
years
his
ago.
expertise with
Sure.
knowing his father that if someone won't cut a deal with you, you cut him off at the knees.
Yep.
until they either deal with you or they're no longer a problem or you're not around. And
Don't worry.
you don't do that unless you know you're going to be around. So sometimes
you got
extreme violence is a legitimate negotiation tactic.
Yeah. And next week we'll get to see Kieran's because Lucky,
I know.
Lucky
I
I
pulled
was kind of hoping I
Kieran's.
would
Yeah.
get Kieran
Yeah.
just so I could learn more about his backstory.
I need to know more about Andulicite. Gosh, like
I know, yes.
Well, the joy of this is Andulicite is learning some things about Andulicite's
Yeah.
backstory.
I
Really?
knew one thing, and the rest was all news to me. So
Yeah. Because
I was like, "Here you go, Josh, a blank slate."
yeah,
I don't remember shit.
everything before like 2 years ago is completely open to interpretation for Andulicite.
wow.
Yep. So
Wow.
I get to see what Josh has done, which is scary, and I
Yeah.
live. So it's
How
great.
many more rounds are we going to go through tonight? AKA, how late are we going?
Oh, that's it. We're done for
Done.
tonight.
That
Yeah.
was it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the top.
Yeah, we'll pick up with Ravik casting Cone of Cold on Albahar in the efforts to save his mother. And just as a game mechanic thing, you guys see that you have 3 opportunities to maintain canon. Violating canon will have consequences.
Spider-Verse rules, got it.
No.
So it is railroading, but
It's so fun.
Yeah.
I love this concept. It's crazy.
We just pop back into our bodies and realize, like, wait a minute.
Oh, I got it the
memories
second you
don't
were
line
like,
up. What's
Yeah.
going on?
you were like red and thread. I was like, ooh, I'm fucking up. Hold on, I
Yeah.
gotta go do something.
yeah, this is you are close enough to confusion that this is what happens when confusion's power is morphing time completely. She is confused time. So like
And confused whose time is
and
whose.
whose time is whose, yeah. Because this section of this section of Tithalamus, you'd be able to like relive moments of your past, but because of this, you're reliving moments of your fellow party members.
It's the body swap episode.
the body swap episode. We didn't do one last season. We had to.
Oh, that's true. We didn't do it.